Hello, and welcome to another episode of Small Doses with Laura Stell. I didn't want to let the month of June get away without addressing Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. So, I wanted to talk about my personal journey on becoming an ally and an advocate for people of the LGBTQIA community. As I've said before on my show, little black girl raised in the South, but what I may not have said was I was also raised in a Black missionary Baptist church, and I also went to Catholic school. So both of those denominations set forth beliefs about dealing with people who were homosexual that aren't pleasant and aren't popular. So I don't need to go into details about what I probably learned in the Baptist church or in the Catholic church about that. But what I wanted to talk about was, again, my personal journey. It was normal when I was growing up, or normal, not normal, to for everybody to be so homophobic. It was just it was the norm. Um, Everybody was homophobic. Uh, you could hear horrible slurs about people, um, even on the playground growing up at school. Little boys who may have been effeminate were called names. Little girls who may have been slightly masculine were called names and teased. And that was just what people did. Doesn't make it acceptable. It's just what people did. Uh, People were very mean. Going on to college, I remember, fraternities making jokes that were very homophobic and with very offensive language. Um, it was the norm. It was what people did. Comedians told horrible jokes, you know, about homosexuality and people who may have been gay. And that was just what people did. The names that people were called were just horrible. Um, I do remember as a kid and even as an adult being conflicted by uh, the lessons that I was learning from the Bible about love everybody, respect everybody. But then people in the church were cherry picking scripture and choosing to like or not like certain people based on their sexual preferences. You would hear phrases like hate hate the sin but love the sinner, implying that because a person was born gay, that they were indeed a sinner. Um, Crazy, ludicrous stuff. So I had the opportunity in about 2001 to move to El Paso, Texas. And the job that I had there made it possible for me to have to take a training um, to learn how to work with the at-risk students that would be in my care who happen to be LGBTQIA. I remember when I first got to the school for my job, there were students, heterosexual and homosexual, who were just openly kissing and hugging and just doing all kind of things that the Lord made me clutch my pearls. It never would have happened when I was a teenager, not out in the open. I mean, back in the day, we used to sneak to kiss and hug and pet and do all of those things. But these kids were just on the stairwells and just everywhere. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I was double, oh my goodness, when I saw same-sex children behaving in the same manner. Because coming from the deep South, I had never seen that. Didn't think I'd ever see it. And wasn't so sure how I felt about it. Freedom has his own opinions about some things. We don't always agree. That's my Shih Tzu. Anyway, so as I worked with a lot of these students, after I had the training, you know, I put my rainbow flag in my office window to let students know that I'm here for you, it's a safe place. And my population of LGBTQIA students grew exponentially. And I have to say, through my 3-year tenure at that high school, Those were some of my most favorite students because they taught me so much and they helped me to understand things that I was ignorant about. Now, what I do know about human nature is things that we don't know about, we tend to be afraid of. And a lot of times when people are afraid of things, they exhibit hatred. This is true when you're dealing with people of different ethnicities. This is why racism is such a bad thing, and race crimes are so horrible. Most times when people are afraid of something or dislike something, it's because they have no knowledge of it. And what happens is, especially when you're dealing with race relations, when you have racism that is just rampant, usually it's because the person harboring the hate doesn't have a friend or an acquaintance of another ethnicity or another race. So therefore, because they don't know anyone, they've made a lot of stereotypes or believe a lot of stereotypes to be true because they don't have personal knowledge of a human being from that different group. Same is true when we're dealing with people who are LGBTQIA. Most oftentimes, people don't have friends with people in this group. So therefore, the stereotypes are easy to believe. The fear is there, the hatred is there, the bullying is there because people just don't know. So what I'm offering you today is make friends or make acquaintance with someone who is different from you, whether it's a different ethnicity or a person who is in the LGBTQIA community. Take a chance, make a friend, because what I know to be true is once you have a personal reference and you begin to learn a person on an individual basis, you begin to understand more about that person, their journey, what's going on in their lives, and a lot of the stereotypes that you have heard go away. So that's what happened for me. I had all of these wonderful students. I had one particular student, I won't share this person's name. He was a gay guy, and he was just the light of the school. He was such an amazing person. He had a bubbly personality, always happy, just happy-go-lucky, just friendly guy. Lots of fun, silly as he could be, because of course he was in high school. Well, the sad thing about this happy, wonderful kid was his home life was terrible. It was horrible. He was being abused by his stepdad simply for the fact that he was gay. Once he told me about the abuse, because of my job, I told him I was going to have to report this to the social services. And he begged me, he cried, please don't tell. I'll be 18 in 3 months. And I have a plan. I know where I'm going. I can be safe until then, and I will be safe after then because I'm leaving. So against my better judgment, I did not report his abuse because in 3 months he indeed did turn 18 and he did move out of the home where he was being abused. I've lost track of him. I wish I knew where he was now, and I don't. I'd love to know how he's doing, and hopefully he's flourishing and doing well. But that was just one example. One of my other favorite students, whose name I won't use, but because it makes the story go easier, I'll pick a name, and I'll use the name Ashley. Ashley was a transgendered child. And the first time I saw Ashley, you couldn't have told me that this was not a man, born a man. Well, I had occasion to meet this child because a teacher referred Ashley to my program. And so when I called the classroom to have Ashley sent to my office, this young man shows up to my door. But the file that I'm looking at clearly has a picture of a little girl in it. And so when the person arrives at my door and says, well, did you call for Ashley? And I said, I did, but I called for Ashley last name. And so Ashley said, well, I am Ashley last name. And I said, well, what's your last four? So Ashley gave me the last four, and I looked at the file. I said, okay, that matches. So I said, well, you don't look anything like this picture on your cum file. And so Ashley said, well, can I see the cum file picture? And so they came over and looked. And Ashley says, oh my God, I hate that picture. Ashley became one of my favorite students, and she became my teacher. Well, he became my teacher because Ashley was transgendered. Ashley was born a female, and Ashley identified as a male. Ashley told me that as early as 6 years old, he knew that he was a boy. And he shared about his birthday party as a 6-year-old, first grader. And his mom had invited all these little girls to the birthday party. And he joked and said he had the best first grade birthday party of all the kids because he had all the pretty girls at his birthday party. At that time, Ashley's mom did not know or understand or accept that Ashley identified as a boy. But according to Ashley, I want to say Ashley told me he was 9 years old when his mom stopped forcing the dresses and the ponytails and the girls' clothes and the girls' toys. And mom began to accept who Ashley was. Well, I think Ashley had an amazing mom who didn't try to make Ashley be who Ashley was not. We don't find that very often. A lot of times parents are embarrassed or in denial or feel some kind of hurt. And I'm not going to judge that because pretty much every parent, from my generation, of course, when you anticipate becoming a parent, you're expecting the boy or the girl, and whatever that is, you pink it up and you blue it up and you go get the boy toys and the girl toys. So I don't want to judge parents for having some level of disappointment, or not even disappointment, of having, well, maybe that is what the feeling is. I don't know. It's probably different for each parent. But the expectation of what they thought they were having changed, and they have to take some time to accept that, deal with it, and come around. Some parents never do come around, and that's very tragic. But anyway, so as I work with these students at this particular high school, a lot of the things that I have been taught as a young person, things that I grew up hearing, I won't necessarily say believing, but hearing, because those were the things that were out there being said. Those things begin to fall away from me, and I become to not only understand, I became compassionate, I became an ally, I became an advocate, because there were situations at the school I had to speak up for these students. I want everybody to have their rights as American citizens, whatever all of us are entitled to. All of us are entitled to. It should not matter if you're LGBTQIA. It should not matter if you're Black, Latino, Asian, or any other ethnic group. If these are our rights in this country, we should all be extended the same rights. One of the things that bothers me most is when people think that they can, pray the gay away. You can't pray the gay away. Okay? It is what it is. I dislike it when, like, I live here in North Carolina and they passed that stupid bathroom bill because they didn't want gay people in the bathroom with their children because it may scare them and make them gay or do something to them. I'm a social worker. Of all the sexual abuse cases I had to deal with, I can't think of any that comes to mind where somebody gay abused a child. It was usually heterosexual people who were abusing children. The bathroom thing, somebody's going to turn your child gay. You can't turn anybody gay. You're gay or you're not gay. It's not going to happen. Nobody can make you gay, just like nobody can make you straight. Nobody can make you Black, and nobody can make you any other thing that you are already born. So stop with the foolishness. Stop with the hate. If you want to be an ally, you have to shut it down when people bring you nonsense and say hateful things. Let them know this is not right. You shouldn't say it. It's not true. Let's be kind to each other. Let's accept one another. We've got to get to a place where, first of all, we mind your own business and let people be who they are. Let people do what they want to do. We've got to just be better. We just got to be better regardless. But anyway, so happy Pride Month. Enjoy the rest of this month of June. Listen at me, I'm getting ahead of the game. I'm excited about July because it's my birthday month. But anyway, so happy June, happy Pride Month. Have a great day. Stop hating. Be kind. Be tolerant if you can't. Be kind. And just have a wonderful day. Click like, click share, and have a great day. It's been another episode of Small Doses with Laura Sell. Bye.